move my mic. How do I sound right now?
Pretty good.
Okay.
Eat the mic, Connor. Are you guys doing NNN?
No.
You're not doing no Necron November?
Failed.
No Necron November is not happening for y'all?
What does that mean?
I'm building. I'm still, despite their nerfs, I'm still building the Heretic Circle team for Chad, who won my first invitational. So there's Necron bits all over the place.
Gotcha. There's another NNN, but we'll talk about that in the after show on the Vox Cascadia podcast. So welcome back, everyone.
Also failed.
Yeah. Welcome back. I'm Chuck. With us, we have tonight Connor. Tyler wasn't able to make it because he's a punk bitch. And he has to work, I guess. And we have with us the winner of Killscream 1, Killscream 4, the All Valley Team Tournament, 3-time golden ticket winner, Branden Bean.
Killscream 2 as well.
Killscream 2 didn't happen. So I'm not sure. That was the strike year, actually. So
someone's in denial.
Is it people go swimming in the river?
Yo, hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah, Killscream 2, for those who don't know, Branden also won Killscream 2. He beat me in the final round. So
you still got second. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even expect to get anywhere near that close, but also I just got to be sweaty about it for the rest of my life. So
you're still the highest placed member at any tournament of the standard Vox Cascadia crew.
Yeah, I've actually won a tournament too. So yeah. But welcome, Branden. Thanks for joining us. Pre-Worlds.
Yeah, for those of you listening, it is Tuesday evening. I fly out tomorrow, mid-shift at work, and I cannot be more excited. Like, the zoomies have hit. I'm super excited. Like, almost all of my adulting is done for the week, and I'm just going to be able to play Kill Team, see some friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and go back to Worlds and give Blooded their last hurrah, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, that's exciting. We not only having you on just to talk about Worlds, how you're getting ready for Worlds, but you also, like I mentioned, won Killscream 4 about 2 weeks ago. We're going 6-0 with your baby Blooded, took down some Kellys along the way, I think.
I had some whiplash that tournament because my first round opponent, and this happens at big events, it happens at any event really. My opponent was very new to the game, so much to the point I had to sort of explain traversing and like climbing and jumping over things and how there's like attacks and how you do the movement after you do the movement attacks of things. And to whiplash from someone who's never been to a Kill Team tournament before to go round 2 into Joshua Kelly was like, okay, well, that's a weird way to start the day.
Yeah, that's see, I have at LVO twice. I've had the opposite where I've just started with Joshua Kelly. That was I was actually probably whiplash for him because he got to beat me down and then go play somebody good. So, but and you were just on Just Another Kill Team podcast, so we're not going to run through your whole Killscream run because I listened to you on Just Another Kill Team podcast with Travis and Jason, and you kind of highlighted it there. So if anyone wants to hear like a little deeper, and you go and you talk about the Blooded and stuff too. But any highlights from games, like any big plays that you just want to highlight for our crowd?
So the couple of plays that I want to highlight, they're both watchable actually on, if you go to Disregarding Dice on YouTube, the day 2, both of my final 2 games were streamed on that channel, and it's up live on YouTube. There's 2 plays, one during the Colts game, and watching the VOD of it is really hilarious because you don't really understand what's going on until they give context afterwards. But the play where his Torment goes to fight my Chieftain, and I look out Mr. President, so he's fighting my Ogren instead. And not only is he now, instead of fighting a 5 health Chieftain that he can just one-shot, he's fighting my 12 or 13 health Ogren, who's much, much scarier. He also completely whiffs the roll really hard. So it just gives me a Torment for free. And when I say I'm considering doing the Look Out Mr. President ploy, there's like 1 second of delay where Christian looks at the table to look at Sean and Zach, and then they both just burst into laughter because the look on his face was like, "Oh God, I forgot about that." And then if you just wait like another minute, Christian says, "I'm gonna keep it 100." I totally forgot you have that, which like you can't really. It's not a gotcha moment when your team also has that exact same ploy, and
Yeah.
we already went over it at the start of the game. Like, it's one thing if you forget a ploy, but when your team has the exact same ploy, there's not really an excuse after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go back and watch that one yet, but I've heard about that. So I need to go check that out. And Zach and Sean were super amazing to stream the tournament for us. Unfortunately, we didn't get the VOD for Connor's game, which actually that's probably for the best. So
Hey,
you got a big enough head already, buddy.
yeah, true. I definitely wanted to go back and watch it, and I was very sad that I could not.
Well, I'm sure you'll like this year. You'll be the first person to volunteer to jump on stream next year too. So
They called me over. Wasn't my fault.
yeah. Speaking of streaming, if you notice, if you're watching us on YouTube, we don't have video this week because there were some technical difficulties, and Brandon wasn't able to get in without video for some reason. I don't know, but he's just too good a dude to not talk to. Anyways, Connor said he wanted to kick you out because we didn't have video.
That's definitely not true.
Yeah, I know, but his mom doesn't say no either. So
That's definitely not true too. Hey, callback, Connor. We haven't done a mom joke in like 10 episodes at least.
It was so nice,
wasn't it? Yeah. So you took down Killscream 4. You won Killscream 1, Killscream 2, and Killscream 4. You lost barely. You almost went 4 in a row, but you barely lost to Jimmy Kelly in 3, right?
yeah, I barely lost to Jimmy Kelly in 3. I also ended up losing later on to Joshua due to just like Geller Pox had that 5-up field no pain, and I think he was on like 64%, 65% making 5-up field no pains against every single point of damage. It was nutty. So like my game plan also wasn't like solid that game, but like the dice just perpetuated that problem. But Jimmy Kelly ended up taking it, and I think I took third behind the two Kellys that year.
Yeah. And I think what was it this year? Was it you then Jimmy then
Jimmy,
Joshua?
Yep, same podium, just different order.
Yeah. Need to get some other people up there. Connor.
I'm
Chuck.
doing my best. Yeah, Chuck's busy running the convention though.
I'm running the tournament. I'm running the convention, so yeah.
Excuses.
I know, right? Maybe I'll see if I can get somebody else to do it next year. Maybe I'll play. I won't. But I'm coming up to your tournament in a couple weeks though, so
yeah, I'm excited. I saw that.
Yeah, I'm excited to I went up there a couple months ago and tried to like sweat out one set of games with Plague Marines, and it fell on my face. And so now I'm gonna try and get up there pretty consistently if I can, because I would like to get an invite to your invitational actually. So
yeah, for those that don't know, I run a monthly tournament out of Tacoma Games up here in the Pacific Northwest, and if you go 3-0 against people, so if you don't get a bye, it doesn't count. But if you go 3-0 against people, you get to go to one of my invitationals, which happens in August. And this year, I got to give away a golden ticket to the invitational winner, which is how we have Chad joining us at Worlds. So we have, instead of historically, there's only been like 2 people from the Pacific Northwest coming. I think we're up to, 9 people? 7 or 8, something like that.
Something like that. You got so we got you, we got Olive, Zach, Sean, Eric, Chad.
Yep.
Who am I missing? Anybody?
Tristan and
they're going next year, right?
Tristan and William are going next year, actually. So
cool. First qualifiers for next year. That's actually even sicker.
Yeah, they were with the tight timeline between Killscream being just like a couple weeks ago and then traveling this week. They were looking for an opportunity to maybe push that out. And when we reached out to GW, they actually preferred them to come next year. So I think it worked out for everyone actually.
Probably due to list lock, because they had list locks on Sunday during Killscream, and then they changed it to Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I've seen people change their team forward and back. Like one of the people in my group was showing Kroot, and then they were showing Raveners, and now they're showing Kroot again. So I don't know what's going on with that, but like something.
Well, we'll talk about your group in a little bit, but let's talk about how you're getting ready for Worlds. So this is your third year in a row going to Worlds. Was it AVTT that you got your ticket at?
Yeah, this year I got it at this year and last year actually. I got my golden ticket at AVTT. Last year, myself, Joshua Kelly, and Robert from Squad. He's on the Squad Game staff. The three of us took second behind Jimmy Kelly, Kellen Foster, and Jason Steinke, who all had their golden ticket already. So our team got golden tickets through that last year, and this year, Sean, Zach, and I went down and took first place. So ABTT has given us golden ticket this year and last year. So
Yeah, love to see that the Northwest boys went down and took the tickets. So yeah, that's a great one. So you said you're flying tomorrow, less than 24 hours from when we're recording this. By the time this will come out on Thursday, you'll be mid games already, probably.
yep.
How are you? So how are you preparing for Worlds? How did you do anything different this year? Is it like what's the mindset? This is the last year you'll be able to play your baby blooded there.
Yeah, that's I'm you're gonna watch a grown man cry when that really hits. Um, so this year I thought I had all my prep done and was doing a lot of side things. On my Patreon I have like my 10 game series that I do, and in my Discord they vote on like what I bring to the next tournament and things of that nature. But GW threw us a curveball with introducing new crit ops and tac ops, and so as part of that, I started taking blooded to. I took them to one RTT, and I ran them on CPTS, which is the Command Point Tournament Series, which is a TTS tournament, and started getting practice with them there. Really, just to feel out the new tag ops. And I learned very quickly that there are some that are a lot more playable than others, and there's a couple that like fit my immediate play style right away, and there's a couple that really don't shine nearly as well as you'd expect. Like Plant Devices, I know is one of those ones that people like lauded as like, oh my god, this is so easy to score. But I think that if players look at something a little bit more proactive, uh, they'll they'll be rewarded better.
So, if you don't mind giving away your tech, what's your like go-to blooded tac ops right now?
Still Intel, like it's practically just still Intel. Every team that you would expect it to like be the default into, it's even better into those other teams that aren't. Into any of the elf teams, into any of the elite teams. The only exception is Canoptic. Canoptic, I'm still taking Plant Devices.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Because like even the Ogren has trouble killing one of the big bugs, and if I'm killing the accelerator or the medic bug, I'm already in a good spot regardless. And I'm usually not, and I'm usually diving to kill those small bugs. So I'm either not killing the big bugs or I'm diving to kill the small bugs, and I can't still intel against that anyway. Um, it's one of it's right now on paper, it's the only matchup where I'm looking at it. But everything changes with the map and design. There's a lot of maps where I really like going route. There's a lot of matchups where I really like going route, especially with the little bit of a buff that we got with this data slate. And I'm really excited to try to see what's going on with it and see what I can actually do besides still intel, because it's become the de facto. And a lot of players are expecting, oh, you're playing blooded, you're going to come at me like right away, and then I don't charge them till like mid late turn 3, and they're like, why are you still on your side of the board? That's it's been a common thing, and I think blooded have a lot more juice than people are giving them credit for. Like I'm very shocked we got a buff. I didn't think we needed it. I thought we were in a fine spot before the data slate. Like can, Cancer and Deathwatch are still formidable foes, but I felt like we had tools, we had play, even if Cancer like is just a lot more forgiving. Um, so I was very surprised that we got any amount of buff. So I feel like I'm positioned the best I have been in any of the times I've gone to perform well.
So remind us. I mean, I obviously know, but remind us what the buff was that they got.
So it's a really minor thing. So two things. One, the Enforcer has a 6-inch anti-injury aura all the time. If you're within 6 inches of the Enforcer, you ignore injury for stat modifiers for movement, shooting, etc. Now, in addition to that aura being constant, when you activate within 6, so like if you start your activation and then move out of that aura, similar to how Sanctifiers do this with the Preaching aura, you still keep that ignore injury buff as you move forward out of the zone. So if I have a 1 health melting gun and I want to missile him up with 3 APL, he can still move dash 9 inches, be out of that bubble, and shoot on his normal ballistic skill, which is a very nice change.
So as long as you start in the aura, you keep that aura for that activation.
Yes. Also, he has the aura on all the time,
You don't have to
and
turn it on.
exactly. So we were like on initial reading of the balanced data slate, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, you don't get to ignore injury during the enforcer's activation. So if the enforcer enforces someone to do a thing, and they're injured, you still suffer the injury penalty, but you actually get both. So it's just a flat buff for him, which is like it's a minor thing because blooded die very quickly, but it's a very nice very nice thing in addition to what we already had going on. The other buff is solely on the chieftain. The chieftain before had to meet 2 requirements in order to get to count as Gaze of the Gods. He had to have a blooded token and be on the opponent's side of the board. Tomb World is really hard to get on your opponent's side of the board, and even a lot of Volcus games, you don't really want to be on the opponent's side of the board. So now if he has a blooded token at all, he counts as Gaze of the Gods, which means you can get 3 APL before you go in. You can get 3 APL after you go in. You can trigger all these different things. Or if he's on the opponent's side of the board, which means you don't even need a token on him, which means you can use the tokens to protect other models or use different combos in different spots because you have that additional token on turn 2 because he doesn't need it. He can go do his thing without it.
Nice. Yeah, those are good. Ignore injury is always useful, especially for up ballistic skill team. So like you said, you got some little secret buffs that you weren't expecting. Does that mean you're going to try and like win the entire event now? I know you're often a very competitive guy, but you're also someone who loves, a good time. We all know that. But
Yeah.
what's the stance going into Worlds?
I think that I think if I was in the right mindset my first time I went to Worlds, I would have performed a lot better. I had a lot of imposter syndrome going on, whereas I wasn't sure if I qualified for it. Like I didn't know if I deserved to go. I also was
Should have been me.
Shut up, Chuck.
I was also at the time of going like unemployed, so my entire trip ended up getting sponsored by the Kill Team Cascadia guys, and
I heard those guys are pretty cool.
yeah, some of them are pricks and like to forget Killscream too, but that happens.
Yeah.
Me.
So the Kill Team Cascadia
To be fair, I
guys,
wasn't part of KTC at that point. I was just a player. I
Yeah,
came on KTC later, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, then you decided to join the organization so you can make sure you never lost an event, and if that way, if you're playing,
That's
you
right.
can just give red cards to every other player, like modeled for advantage, and they assaulted me with their
That's
fists after a bad dice roll, so they need to be banned from the event. And that's how you go.
Branden beat me so badly, I became a TO instead of trying to like get a golden ticket.
Yeah.
Yep. So the KTC guys helped me get out there, and thankfully Matt Wilhelm actually had a spare bed from the room that he got from winning the Tacoma Open that year. So my entire trip was pretty much paid for minus food, and even then I got like Tyler sent me some money to have a nice meal. So I've really felt that I was not deserving of my placement there, and it was really in my head a lot. And I think I would have performed better if I was a little bit more calm and relaxed and confident than I am now. The second year I went into the meta of Legionnaires beat everyone except Warp Coven, and Warp Coven beat everyone, period. I was just glad to go even in that meta.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because, like,
the game was a little bonky back then.
Yeah, Higher Tech Circle alone, D3 damage on the charge per model I charge, and then they roll a crit and I die on my charge. Like it was just so brutal. And then I don't get crits because of the Psychomancer. It was just like, okay, cool. You shut down half my faction function at all, and neat. Like it's real bad. So now that those hurdles are gone, we got a couple buffs, a couple things at the top got knocked down. I was already feeling like I had play into anything in the field. So I think I'm positioned at least well to perform well. I always try to play the best game I can, especially at these big tournaments. But I I think that if I was going to have a chance with Blooded, this would be the year I have a real chance with Blooded. So we'll see what I can do.
It's also your last chance with Blooded, so there's
Yep.
that.
Hell yeah.
So, really important question. As we all know, airports are international time. So you get on the other side of security. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. It's 5 o'clock. So what's your airport? What's your travel drink of choice there, Brandon?
I usually default to a Jack and Coke. I have a very real problem of not being able to hold my liquor. I am a very cheap date. So the biggest problem that I have is once I have one, whatever else gets put in front of me, I will keep drinking. As Chuck got to witness firsthand when we went to LVO
Yep.
in January, and I was extremely thankful for having this tall, very beautiful man to follow around and tell me where my hotel room was because I was very sloshed.
Yeah,
I don't.
there was more than once when Brandon's like, "How would we get here?" I'm like, "Brandon, like you got the taxi. You're the one you got the taxi for us."
Yeah, I'm the one that I remember that conversation. I still don't remember how we got back to the hotel from the Taco Bell cantina where I ordered what I thought was going to be a small slushie,
Nope.
and it was the giant one with extra shots.
That
Yep.
sounds like a
And
great time.
I am fully convinced that one of you jerks, like tapped on the extra shots as I was ordering. But it really, realistically, it could have just been me too. So I don't have any proof. I just have just a feeling.
Yeah. Well, I'm a dog dad, but I tend to become the dad of the group even when we're out and about. So that's glad to be there for you and make sure to steer you back to the hotel room so you could snore your ass off the entire night. So.
Like
You have the
father, like
weirdest.
son.
You have the weirdest fucking sleeping patterns, dude. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night and like look over and you'd be playing with your phone. I think you just like fall asleep, and then I hear you snoring like 2 minutes later, and then like I wake up like an hour later and you're like playing with your phone again. It's just like weird.
Yeah,
Um,
lack thereof of sleeping habits is like definitely the MO there.
yeah. So Jack and Coke. I'm usually an IPA. I'm usually an IPA guy or a screwdriver in an airport for some reason. I don't know why. I like to go for a screwdriver. Connors, what diet Coke is yours or
I mean, Diet
Diet
Dr. Pepper, of
Diet
course.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, come on. Every photo of me that's taken, there's like a 90% chance there's a Diet Dr. Pepper in my hand or within a foot of me.
That's who we need to get sponsorship from.
I would love to get sponsored by Diet Dr. Pepper. I would sell out so quickly.
I'm going to
Between
Fort George this weekend, so maybe I can hit them up for a sponsorship for us.
between Dr. Pepper and Taco Bell, like I feel like between us and Tabletop Titans, we got to get Taco Bell to sponsor one of us. Like it's really bad. And then at least they don't talk about Vallejo Blue Green every single time they have. I haven't been watching them recently though, so I don't know.
Yeah. So we do have also some. Actually, so is there anything else before we get to it? We got some questions from the Patreons. So is there anything else that you did for your World's Prep? You said you did a RTT, did some TTS, you had tried the new stuff. Any like, I don't know, anything else that you out of the blue were like, this is going to help me?
No, realistically, what I did is I did the RTT and I did the CPTS, and I had a couple other games where very commonly on TTS, I'll be like, "Hey, what do you want me to play?" And if they don't have a preference, I will. In recent blah 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 words. In the last 2 months, I've been playing Blooded on TTS as well, and I will dice roll and pick a tac hop that way because I want to make sure that like it's either not fitting my playstyle with one of the other tech ops or it's just not viable. And I do think that strangely enough, Dominate is actually sort of like a viable tech op for Blooded. I'm not saying it's a very popular one or common one or that you should take it into elites because there's only so many elites and we do die very quickly. But it is surprisingly good in different situations. Like I think it's one of the better ones into things like Kroot, which are in my pod, and Brood Brothers and things of that nature, where you do have these opportunities to take these one-sided trades at the end of the turn. You just need to make sure it's like at the end of the turn, or it's with the sniper, or it's with the cleanser, or someone that's that's charging from conceal, doing something from conceal that they're not going to get slapped back.
So you mentioned your pod. So super patron
Mhm.
Zarin actually asked, who don't you want to fight round one? He said your pod seems pretty tough.
Yeah. Someone came out with the stats of like the ITC rankings for the pods, and if you look at number of players that are in the top 25, I think there's 18 or 19 of us that are in the top 25 ITC ranking that are going to Worlds this year. Um, and if you look at I have the chart here. Give me 1 second. If you look at the chart, look. I'm in Group 8. And in pod one, there's two in the top 25. In pod two, there's two. In pod three, there's one. In pod four, there's two. In pod five, there's one. In pod six, there's two. In pod seven, there's one. In pod eight, there's seven in the top 25.
Jesus, that's in football they call that the group of death.
Yeah, it's definitely not the only group of death, and there's a bunch of different names on there that you like that may not be ITC top 25 that you still have to respect. There's a ton of names, like it's Worlds. Like if you're not recognizing names, like there's a problem. That means you're the one that they don't have to worry about. Um, but just like that number is staggering, and it's even if you look at like top 50, like those same seven are in the top 50 naturally, right? All the groups go up by one or two. Group two goes up to six, but that's it. Like no one even touches seven all the way to the end until you reach top 100, where two groups have eight. Like it's between pod six and pod eight are sort of like the groups of death, and I think that if I was any other country besides USA in Group 8, I would be a lot more concerned because holy crap, the amount of talent in that group just on the American side is a lot.
USA, USA, USA. I don't know if I can still do that in good faith though. That's bad.
That
Yeah.
you didn't. There was not a lot behind that.
Yeah, it wasn't a very enthusiastic USA. There's not a ton
Sen-
to be enthusiastic about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can.
Other than
see
our
that.
kill team players, those guys are great.
Yes, yeah. So name names, Brandon. Who's the when BCP updates and the pairings are out for round one? Who don't you want to see paired to?
There's two that are both USA tagged, and I'm fine with it. Joshua Kelly and Jason Steinke. So I don't want to fight Joshua because I know he's on cancer, and I know that he learned in our game, and I know that if I have to fight him, it's going to be an uphill battle the entire time. It's already an uphill fight, and I know he's going to learn and get better, and that's a game I don't want to fight. The other one is Jason Steinke because historically I do not win against him. It's ridiculous. I have He's literally called me and been like, Brandon, I need to pick your brain about something. Can you give me like a rundown? Can we do like a coaching session? And we've literally done like pseudo coaching sessions of like and like given different rundowns. Like when he won his golden ticket on Wormblade, I was the one he called and we talked for like 2.5 hours about Wormblade and different tech because I happened to be messing around with them at the time. And even then, when it comes to a game, he just like consistently just like puts me in the ground and I just can't get my head around it. It's really frustrating. There's a couple names I'm actually really excited to play that are also USA. Shane Smith is someone that we've gone to. This will be our third Worlds,
Yep.
and
Command
I've
point.
been and I've been at multiple tournaments with him. And I've never gotten to fight him. And I know he's a great guy, and I'd love to have that interaction.
You guys never
And
played on like TTS or anything, even?
we've played a couple times on TTS, but the last time Shane and I played on TTS, he was playing around with Gellerpox,
Yeah.
and I got initiative into turn two after getting an indirect grenade off. So my grenadier did something totaling like 35 damage by himself before, like, through the Feel No Pains, which is just like obnoxious. He killed an entire Hulk, a mutant, and put another Hulk at like 4 health. It was absurd. Um, yeah, it was like, and then I had really really bad lag because that was before I upgraded my PC, so we ended up like calling the game, so it wasn't even like a full game. And then I think we've had like a game outside of that. I think he was playing Higher Tech Circle into Colts on TTS, but that's like TTS is its own different monster.
Yeah.
and it's like it is Kill Team, but it's not. It's just not the same as in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we're having such good games on TTS, we're gonna have an even better game in person, and that's where I'm looking to go. The other name I'm really looking forward. Hopefully, I'll get to play him. Is Mike Cortez again because we just haven't played yet.
I played.
I know.
I actually played Mike at LVO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that he's another one that's been at multiple tournaments with us. I met him first time at Worlds, and I'm really hoping to get a game against him. And then lastly on that list of like people I know I want to get games in against is Guy Barton. I played Guy last year at Worlds, and it was a great time. Had fun, and like that was one of my best player interactions. That was during that game. Higher Tech Circle, gonna Higher Tech Circle, but it was a lot of fun, and I really like to play Guy again.
Nice. Zarin also asked, "Do you think you can get best in faction? There is one other blooded player."
Yeah, that was my goal going into it. I really expected there to be more blooded players. I know that blooded are more popular in Argentina and Australia than they are in the States. I'm kind of the only statesman that's like pulling it out with them. And I know what it is that like blooded give really good games, but it's really rare that they have that like super neat trick of, oh, I teleported through the wall and blasted three guys, or I like charge, fought, killed, dashed, and threw a grenade and killed two guys that you didn't expect me to get blasted on. Like those are really cool plays that you can do with like Nemesis Claw and Canoptic. And like Blooded are realistically a very straightforward team. So they don't have like the cool aspect of like I'm gonna do my neat trick, which like really draws people to teams.
You mentioned Nemesis Claw, and actually, so I'm going to jump around here a bit. Connor, you went 3-0 this last week on Nemesis Claw, right?
I did, yes. We had one of our little local tournaments up in Bremerton. It was a smaller one just because, people are either going to Worlds this weekend or we're recovering from Kill Screen, so there's only 6 of us. But I managed to go 3-0, which was a good time.
So how did you feel about the nerf that they got? Did it come into play?
It did not thankfully make too much of a difference, but it did not go off one time, which was brutal.
You played against some pretty meta teams, right?
Yeah, my first one was against Sam. He was playing Vet Guard, which was fun. He was just trying out the team. He had a great time with him, which was always good. And it was still a pretty close matchup. Like I killed a ton of his guys, and he killed like 3 of mine. But it was pretty close. It just kind of came down to an order of operations thing where he made a slight mistake with them, and that just secured me the victory. Then I fought Death Watch, which was very fun. It was against Scott, not Scott over in Seattle, but Scott local to us. He was playing Death Watch. I think that's just a good matchup for Nemesis Claw as it is, even with the nerf. And then I fought Zarin with his cancer, which was super fun. I managed to score really well on secure, but I put something like 2 or 3 bolt gun shots or bolt pistols, a plasma pistol, a melt a shot, and 2 lethal 5 bolt gun shots. And that piece of shit tomb crawler still wouldn't go down, which was very annoying. But I still managed to win that game, thankfully, so I can't complain too much.
It's good. Back to the important person. So Brandon Tristan, who won golden ticket at did Tristan get 4th or?
I think Tristan got 4th. Yeah,
4th. Yeah. So golden ticket going to be heading to the Worlds next year. I'm sure you'll get a ticket next year too. Wants to know what's the next team once Blooded are gone. Who do we have to fear next to Kill Scream? And I know I just know the Kill Team podcast. You said you weren't even thinking about that. You're gonna figure it out. But I want to fucking answer.
Hunter Clade. He's gonna do Hunter Clade.
Yeah, the other team that's
they got classified. Darn.
What?
I really despise this question. And the biggest reason why I despise it is because I'm such in a mindset of like, oh my god, I get to go play this thing. I get to go like travel to do this ridiculous thing and play with my toy soldiers and not have to think about work or like responsibilities and like life. I can just go and meet friends that I haven't met in a year because they're in Spain or Australia or Argentina or wherever they're coming back from. And like realistically, I think I've gotten to a point, and this is going to sound like boastful as fuck, but like you could say this about any of the top players going to this tournament. You put any of those, names on any team, and you're going to be like, okay, I'm afraid of that because the player is like they know how to get some juice out of whatever team they field. And so the realistic answer is any team I'm bringing, I'm going to make sure that everyone's afraid of it. Like Shane Smith is on Rekkas this year. I would be equally afraid if he was on Canoptic Circle because Shane is one of those players where if you don't recognize him as a name, he's one of the biggest content creators or was for a minute. He's dropped off for a little bit, but he's still one of the best players out there. Jimmy Kelly's another one. He's on Wormblade, who personally I put in like mid to low B tier, but it doesn't matter what team Jimmy's playing. You need to respect Jimmy's play because Jimmy's an outstanding player. Same with any of his kids. So the realistic answer is anything I'm touching, Tristan, be afraid. Be very afraid.
So that's a non-answer, but okay, I'll give it to you. We need an answer. We'll need an answer in a couple weeks. Let's see. So, and also Tristan, new patron, by the way. Thank you for supporting us. Appreciate it. Super proud of you also for what you did at Killscreen. That was fantastic.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Showed what Nemesis Claw can actually do. So
Tristan has taken games off me, but by the way, the number of people like in that room that have taken wins off me is not very high. I think it's in the single digits out of that entire room at Killscreen 4, and Tristan's one of them.
Yeah, I basically just retired from the local scene because I couldn't beat you. So that's why I have to go to Vegas and Adepticon to try and get games in because I try and dodge you. So, and I go to your tournaments because you're not playing in your tournaments. So,
Sure.
Greg, miss you, Greg, buddy. Already, it was great to see you a couple weeks ago.
Come back, Greg.
What's your best moment from the last two World Championships, and what are you looking forward to the most this year?
My best moment from the championship 2 years ago was into Commandos. Okay, so I have two from that year. I played the same Corsairs player twice, and in our second game, because we were in the same pod, and then after pods we both didn't make it out of pod. So in our second game, I had a play where I could make it a tie, but like that's boring. Or I could go for this grenade launcher shot that was hitting on fours into his 4-up armor saves for the win. I was either going to win by one or I was going to lose by one. That's how this play was going to go. And I explained it, and we rolled all our CP, and he ended up winning by one. But it was like such a fun and such a thematic thing that like by the end of it, he's like, dude, if you go to Mexico, I got a house. If you go to Spain, my mom's got a house. Like wherever you go, we're cool wherever we go.
That's
so that was like
awesome.
that was one of my favorite like moments from that perspective of it. And then uh, into when Commando's triple sneaky get was like a terror. People were like terrified of that. Um, I ended up playing Commandos on Into the Dark, where they can be extremely nasty with a very early dynamite or frag grenade or whatever the case was. And I ended up one of my wins was against a very skilled Commandos player, and that was like okay. So I like wasn't just like playing against demons and things like that, like compendium demons. Who Sawyer's an amazing player, but like it fed into the imposter syndrome that I was feeling at the time real hard. That like that was one of my only wins was in the demons, and then I finally play Commandos, which was like one of the big bads to end the tournament and pull a solid win there, like a honestly a pretty convincing win. So that was like one of the like really really standout moments for me out of that one. Last year, I was just glad to be able to go 5-5. Like that meta was so rough into Thousand Suns and Higher Tech Circle. I didn't end up playing any Legionnaires players as all the Americans took Legionnaires. But like I even had one of the Legionnaires players come up and be like, I don't feel like I deserved my win out of my pod. I just sort of stat checked and won and got out of pods. And I was like, yeah, that can happen with Legionnaires right now. Um, and so like I was really glad overall to just go 5-5 in that meta. I pulled a win against Higher Tech. I pulled a win against Warp Coven. And then I got a couple wins and losses across the board with everyone. So it was a lot of fun, and I was just glad I didn't have like any super high standout moments that time, but just a lot of consistently good moments.
Is it going to be 10 games again this year? Same format, same times too?
Last year we had 4-hour rounds, which is painful. This year we have 3-hour rounds, which I know is a big mark of criticism, but like for the first day, I think going 3 hours is fine. I think because you have a lot of people flying in, Uh, like even myself, I'm doing a 4 hour trip, and I know jet lag is not that big of a deal for me, but I imagine if you're flying in from Argentina, Spain, China, we have people flying in from China, uh, so it's a much bigger ordeal for them. So it helps them out for the first day, but I think after the first day, they should go down to 2.5 for day two and two on the 2 days, the Saturday and Sunday, in my opinion. But yeah, so it's pretty much the same format. It's very close to the same format.
So do you feel? I mean, why are people griping about it? Is it just because they think they need that for like jet lag and stuff, or getting acclimated?
Oh no, the biggest gripe is that it's too long. Like
Oh,
it
okay,
is, it's one of those things where you have players when you're under a 2 hour time clock. Most players understand. Look, I know I have to like figure out a decision here, but I have to make a decision, so I'm going to make one and I'm going to go with it, right? And they know that realistically they have 35 seconds ish per decision to like actually make a decision. So it really rewards players for like forethought and thinking during your opponent's turn and activation and dice rolls and things of that nature. With the longer rounds, you will have a number of players that just stand there and like really consider and talk out every single option.
sure.
And as someone who's going against that, you're kind of just like staring at them waiting for the entire duration of their decision making process.
See, and I thought you were originally meaning that like people were upset they weren't 4 hour rounds still.
No,
Okay, good.
no. All of the complaints I've heard across the board were these rounds are too long. Like, I remember sitting there with a couple of players at the end talking to Ben, who was there. I think it was Ben at the time. It was 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure. And the player was like, "Look, you have to like offer me a car for me to even like winning a car for me to even come back if the rounds are going to be like this next year, because that's how like painfully long they are. A tournament is already very long and arduous, right? A 3 round tournament in a day, you're talking a 7 hour day at least. It's a long day, right? Now, draw that out, add an additional hour per round, and now it's a 10-hour day. That is just so much more mental wear. And then you're not, the other part is you're not doing anything during that extended time. Your opponent is like doing the thing more often than not. So you have people that won't complain about it and they'll take up that whole 3 hours. And then you have the other side of it that's like, dude, standard is 2 hours across the board. Why can't we make this standardized, like where it should count?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like sometimes 2 hours feels tight, but yeah, 4 hours seems wild. Like 4 hours is like you don't even have 4 hours, I think, in 40K.
Yeah, I think you do get 4 hours from like start to finish in 40K, but that's like pairings are up, rounds started, rounds ended, and any other discrepancies are like talked out and figured out, and then the next round's about to start in 3 minutes, and that's 4 hours long, right? Like, there's no reason for a kill team to go that long.
So, a question from Max, who's on the show a little bit ago, also crushed it at CritCon helping out. Max asked, as someone who spent most of their kill team career playing horde teams like Blood and Chaos Cults, what are your thoughts on the recent kill team releases and the amount of 5-man elite teams that we've seen since Typhon? Do you hope Games Workshop will go back to Vet Guard and Blooded style horde teams in the future?
Yeah, I realized like looking at all the releases that we're looking at coming up, right? We just got Deathwatch, we just got Canoptic, and whether you want to call Canoptic a mid range or a elite team, they're 5 grade on the kill op. I'm gonna call them elites, sue me. And then they just announced earlier today that Space Wolves scouts are pretty much going to be 5 scouts plus a dog, and then the Tau stealth shoots are going to be 5 suits plus 2 drones. So we're getting in like the elite of elite meta. We have right on the heels of that, we know Night Lords are coming with 5 or 6 jump pack Night Lords, Raptors and or Warp Talons, and then we have a team of 8, I think it was, Cycrosants coming out for Sisters of Battle. So an entire 3 boxes in a row, you have 0 teams that have over 8 models, and we're about to cycle out 10 teams that have 10 or more models. That's not even including Corsairs. So 11 teams that have 9 or more models are about to get cycled out. So it really pinches the pool for players that want to play that playstyle and have the more utility of tools. Which, if that's the design that they're going with Kill Team, that's fine. I think that you'll find that there's a lot of players that are grasping for teams that have those additional tools, that have those additional playmaking, that have that like those optionality of it. And I know with more options creates more room for error, but when you have those 50 different million options and you're selecting the right one and crushing your opponent, it is one of the most rewarding things. It's one of those things where like in mine and Tristan's game, for example, I consistently made like what he felt was a good decision into a bad decision because I had different tools to mitigate it. And you're going to run into teams that just don't have that optionality. And I think a lot of players, especially at the higher end, a lot of players really enjoy having that optionality.
I think one thing I think that the Sisters team is going to be 10 operatives. Just looking at the pictures of it, because they do have 10 on the board, and they have 6 of the warp talons or whatever they are. But
No,
they,
if you read the article, I'm almost certain it's 8, and I know that that's just the entire contents of the box.
I don't know. I'll bet you a beverage.
I'll bet you a beverage.
All right. I like betting beverages. Greg owes me like 15.
Yeah.
Greg said there wasn't going to be Greg said there wasn't going to be an article this week, and there was an article this week. You owe me a beer, Greg. So
Also, another thing to Greg, at least, regardless of model count, these are all extremely somewhat tanky teams. Just because, assuming stealth suits also have 3-up saves, these 6 teams, 5.5 of them are 3-up saves, and the cancer operatives that matter are 3-up saves as well. Like it's a pretty good saving season.
So even though say the Sisters are 10 operatives, still though we don't have like any, like the last horde team we got like Brood Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rattlings.
So, and that was Rattlings. Yeah, Rattlings. I guess
Rattlings qualify.
But that's in 2 years basically. We've had 2 teams that kind of fit that, because we have the 3. We have the elite, what they call the semi-elite or whatever, with like
elite,
elites, and then hordes, and we haven't got a horde team since Brood Brothers, which was the end, or Rattlings, I guess, was the beginning of last season though, over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So Tristan had another question and Tristan said, piggybacking on this, what would your dream horde team to be to replace Blooded?
Re-release Blooded. This is gonna sound like the saddest answer ever. When Blooded got announced, I was at the time playing Warp Covenant. I've always been a Chaos guy. I'm a Night Lords fanboy. I've just openly admit it. Even my Blooded have little Night Lord symbols on them. And like when Blooded got announced, I saw that team, and that day I went out and bought a box of guardsmen so that I had the extra bodies to make what, back when we had rosters, I already planned on making 20-man roster for that team. When they announced that pre-orders were coming for that team, the team struck with me so solidly that I knew, I was like, that's going to be my team. That's me already. And as much as I enjoy other teams, there's not been a team that comes even close to striking me like Blooded did when on release. And I'm definitely not leaving the game anytime soon. I love the game. I love the community. I love having fun. I love going around and just playing with all sorts of people and making growing the community. There's not an aspect of this game that I do not enjoy. But I don't think there's a team that can replace Blooded at all.
It's like heartbreaking there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm really not joking when you say, like, I'm not, like, Blooded are sincerely going to cry when I know that they're done. I know it's going to happen. I know I can still play them locally, but it's definitely not the same. And I know that for the health of the game, it's healthy for the game to have a plan for longevity, and you realistically just can't consistently keep growing the number of teams and expecting people to be able to, and really expecting TOs to remember the number of interactions between teams, right? It just becomes this impossible task. And I understand that, but it's still going to break my heart a little bit.
You need to find like a free use version of like in the Arms of an Angel, the ASPCA song to play in the background. slowly cry. So All right. Well, yeah, that's yeah. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go hug my dog right now. Um, well, like you said, you can play. You'll be able to play Blooded for another couple of years, just not like at GW events. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's well. Hopefully something comes through that sparks your interest. We're gonna have. Or what are we in season 2 of this edition? So we'll have a
Yeah.
whole nother whole. Hopefully, we get a fourth box for this season, and then at least 3 or 4 for the next season. So who knows? Maybe you'll find your one true love again.
Yeah, we'll see. And like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm definitely not leaving the game anytime soon. I just like I cannot express like how like I have multiple kill teams here that are all painted to some various standards. My Colts are fully painted, mostly because like it's just slap chop for some of my teams. Um, Death Guard I eventually got painted just literally because it's only 7 models. But as far as like making and creating a full roster, I did that in like 72 hours with Blooded. Like I got my Blooded box, built them all, primed them all, painted them all, based them all, and had them ready to go within a week for 20 models like instantly. I was ready to go and like wanting to play that team so bad just like from announcement. So like to have someone that like is like even thinking of replacing that, that's just it just hasn't been a thing.
Yeah, well, you can't leave the game because if you do, I'm gonna lie to everyone and say that I chased you out. You were afraid to face me again, and that I made you quit. So
Sure.
Nice work,
you got to
Jack.
stay with us for that. Yeah. Hey, there you go. Selfish question for me. What do you think of the Rekka changes?
I think it's great. I think that the record changes are in the right direction. I do not think it changes their position in the meta outside of some of the teams getting removed from the meta. Looking at you, Void Dancers and Warp Coven getting practically removed from the meta.
Yeah,
Um,
Kevin being
I think
shot
that
in the head.
what was the third one that took Banner's nerfs? I can't remember it off the top of my head. Uh,
You had Warp Coven lost an operative.
And then can
mhm.
only bring a single gunner
Dancers.
down.
Yep.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what the other like. Oh, Higher Tech Circle. Sorry,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
not sorry about Higher Tech Circle at all. Jaded. Also, clowns. Fuck clowns. Uh, like those 3 teams got really knocked out of the meta very hard with the nerfs. So that's the only real shakeup from this data slate is knocking those 3 teams down quite a number of pegs. That doesn't really bring Rekkas up too many pegs. It helps them in a lot of their like trouble matchups. It also helps them with doors because not being able to open a door and then charge and fight where you because all you could do is open a door and charge was just brutal, especially now that you have 2 APL doors. You're like, okay, I can go up and I can break this door open, and then I just stand there.
Yeah.
That feels atrocious. And that was the case on every end of the dartboard. Now it's just the breachable walls at least. Um, Still rough, but like at least now it's just the breachable walls that make you feel bad like that. It's not every single door, and it opens up a lot of play for that team. So it's a really healthy thing for that team. But it still makes them like they're. I think they're even more of a gatekeeper team now in place of Angels of Death, since Angels of Death are not really relevant in the meta.
I heard that they were. I heard people were excited about the changes, and it was going to make a big difference. Do you think that because they got some significant changes to their chapter tactics, right?
They
And
got
their captain too, right?
they got a number of changes to their chapter tactics. They got a couple of changes to their captain. The captain was already one of the strongest picks, especially since Jeweler got nerfed.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the combo before is you would take aggressor on your sergeant with the power sword, so that he has rending lethal 5 crits on a power sword that could go up to 7 damage, and also double parry things out because you have crits. Like that made him like a disturbing monster to fight against. Um, it makes the captain an auto take, but it does not help them in the meta at all. And if you want any evidence of this, 0 Angels of Death at Worlds.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 0.
I
And
guess it tells you something.
it's like as much as people want to put Blooded in B tier and C tier and say that they don't have the juice to go all the way, there's zero Angels of Death in at Worlds for a reason. There's zero Casterkin. The list of teams that there are zero of. The only real surprise, in my opinion, is Hand of the Archon. Not because I think that they're good enough to win it, but just because they're a very much beloved team and got some very healthy buffs to the team. But just any of the teams that brought zero to Worlds this year are like, there's a reason for a lot of them.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it. So actually, Battle Brothers Ben reached out to me because he's taking Rekkas, and he actually asked me for my Rekka tech. And unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to play into any the new approved ops stuff. But I think a lot of the same strategy worked out. So I'm excited to see how he does. And then it's awesome to hear that Shane Smith is going to be taking him too, because Shane's amazing at kill team, and so I'm excited to see what they can figure out with it. I tried to I pinged Ben and told him, one, I told him good luck, but two, also come on the podcast so you can tell me how to play them and see if my stuff helped any at all too.
Yeah, that's someone else I would love to get a game against is Battle Brothers Ben. We're not in the same pod, so maybe if we both failed getting into pods, or we both make it into pods, whichever one, maybe we'll get that in. But he's just a jolly guy that I love seeing. He just brings a bunch of positive energy to every room he walks into. Like you can literally feel it, so it's great.
Yeah, he's I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple times, and we had him on the podcast once. Super nice dude.
Yeah, he's the best.
Just a good dude, and Connor loves him because he backed up your AdMech stuff.
Listen, when Branden, gives his sad takes on why he's a sad blooded or gone, he gets applause, and then I say I'm sad Hunter Clay, and you just point and laugh.
Yeah, yes. But that's because Hunter Clay got dumpstered at the start of this edition. Like Blooded had been like at least solid.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
yeah, that's part of why I was so surprised that we got buffs. Like I know our win rate wasn't doing super hot, but like we still were competing, and it, like, I don't know, it didn't feel like we needed the buffs. I'm thankful for them, but it didn't feel like we needed them.
Let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second. So maybe it's that GW loves you and they gave you the buffs, and maybe they hate Orion Wilfong because they just nerfed the team that he's the only person playing them basically, and they nerfed his team.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. As far as tinfoil hat theories go, I have a couple of ideas with that, but I don't think it's actually them hating Orion Wilfong. I think it's that they.
I should hope not.
Right. Orion's a great guy and a stand-up player, and the only thing that is cooler than Orion's play and personality is his drab, because that man dresses like the utmost gentleman. If you ever see him at a tournament, you will know it and you'll never forget it, because he's always dripping. Like I'm in their t-shirt and gym shorts almost every single time, flip flops every single time you see me. He's in there with fedora, and he's dressed to impress, and he impresses every single time. So I really don't think it's actually slighted at Orion. But I don't understand why, like, Killer Pox were barely getting played, let alone, like, I don't understand that nerf at all. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. So I also I want to actually go back to Killscream 4. So you at Killscream 2, you took a sword from me. Killscream 3, Jimmy took a belt from you. At Killscream 4, you took an axe to your hand multiple times.
Yeah. I had that axe for less than 2 minutes, and the first little cut on my finger was semi-intentional, where I was like testing the edge, and I was like, oh look, ooh, it's sharp, and I wiped the blood on the blade and like being joking, haha. And then I went to just hold the axe comfortably and cut my hand open, immediately needing band-aids and help. And the craziest part is looking back at the VOD of that. I'm waving that axe around my face very close to my neck for a long time, so I'm just sort of glad to be alive right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you are too. I got for Killscream 3 and Crickon, the first one, I got a first aid kit because I'm like, I just want to be prepared. Never had to use it. It was still in the plastic, and then all of a sudden people are like, somebody have a Band-Aid?
I'm bleeding on
So
stream.
on
Yeah,
stream, yeah.
my,
So
I still have a little scar there.
yeah,
Side tangent: I have found a leaked photo of the Sacrosanct team. It is 1 liter plus 8 choices.
so 9.
Yep.
All right. So we were halfway. So
Yep.
we were both right.
Does that mean I
High
get
five.
2 beers?
No, you can fuck off.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
you can have 2 beers. Actually, you have to drink
Yes,
both
let's
of
do
them.
this. I'm down for this.
All right.
Yes.
Do they have to be beers? Can they be just like drinks in general, like
No.
alcoholic drinks?
Yeah.
Alcoholic
Yes. I mean,
drinks.
yeah, we can do beers and actually, or we can do
This is
alcoholic
how
drinks.
this is how we're doing this. Chuck gets to choose one. I get to choose the other, and you have to down them both in the time that Chuck and I have our first drink.
Oh, I can do that.
Girl, you cannot.
You gave me that one, and I like chugged half of it.
You didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't.
You need to stop. Hey, when people hand you stuff, stop putting it in your mouth, dude.
Incorrect. If it's a drink, I'll drink it. If it's got booze, I'll find out halfway through.
Yeah. And Brandon, I have a proposal for you. So,
Uh-oh.
Will you marry
not
Chuck?
no.
Oh, dang it! There goes my fan fiction.
Stop shipping us, dude. Come on.
Sarah, what would the ship name of Brandon and Chuck be? Bruck. All right, the Bruck ship. Thank you.
All right. So Brandon, you have a Patreon, you have a YouTube, and you do. One thing you do is you pick a team, you play 10 games with them, and then you deep dive into about the team. You also do like one-on-one coaching too.
Yeah.
So at CritCon 3, coming up in a short 359 days or something. But who's counting? Me. We have a classroom. And so what I was thinking is we should get the Kiddo Crew live show where you do maybe a like advanced tactics of kill team, or you could do like one-on-one coaching, or maybe like a demo game and showing some advanced tactics, some stuff that people maybe miss, and do it like maybe Thursday evening or even like Friday after whatever we do for like narrative or whatever. So you can like get some like in-person teaching with people and like do like a classroom setting. Like, I've done it with, like you mentioned, Tabletop Titans. I did it with them at Adepticon one year for 40K, and it was pretty cool. And so I was looking to utilize that space a little bit more, and I was thinking that that might be something you'd be interested in.
Oh, definitely. That sounds right up my alley. Actually, I didn't come down for the doubles event for a couple of reasons. One, I knew that with Worlds coming up, PTO at work is a limiting factor.
Yeah.
And two, I know that having those additional games on top of a 6-round tournament can burn you out, and it can make you more tired. And I wanted to focus on the singles more than the doubles event. So like I didn't really want to participate in the doubles this year, but doing the coaching sessions sounds like a great thing, and I think that'd be awesome because we could probably just pair people and be like, okay, everyone play turn one, and I can go table to table and like figure out like what and talk about each other's strategy, like both sides of the strategy from the table perspective from where I see it, and so I could try to open up people's eyes to like at the very least how a top level player sees the board, because reading a board is a very underutilized skill. I had a game into a buddy of mine at AVTT, and AVTT has some narrative boards, so it throws a lot of chaos into like one of those team matchups. And he had a complaint about the narrative boards because they weren't like there was never a way to figure them out because they're so obtuse. You have to figure them out in the moment. And I was like, hey, I understand that's not super healthy for competitive to do this all of the time, but being able to read the board and take advantage of different things on the board like in the moment is definitely a skill set that gets developed in this game. And a lot of these things that used to be skill expression things, like deploying certain gunners on engage turn one, is not there anymore. And so this is one of those few skill sets that like Tyler boards really promote, and I really like having those in the game.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people, they play, like you mentioned, they had narrative boards there, and people hadn't played them before, so they didn't know the lanes to take or how to kind of play it. So
And honestly, the map builder didn't either. Tyler doesn't really build uh, fair and even boards. He builds very cool, very thematic, and very interesting boards that you got to figure out. And let's be real, if you're like a Black Ops team, you might know the lay of the land, but if someone is doing wall construction and you don't know about it, like that changes your whole dynamic about where you're going to that mission, and you have to think on the fly of where you're going, and that's part of the game, and it's super thematic in my opinion.
Plus, it was nice. Map packs are cool. It means everyone can at least get a somewhat informed thing. But it's fun to sometimes just do new shit, especially even if at big events that can really promote a lot of cool teams that don't normally see play to get like be brought there,
Yeah.
or have an advantage
Mhm.
that you wouldn't normally expect.
But yeah, I think like I said, we've got the classroom basically. So we could do something in the evening on maybe Friday after like doubles. Or I put out a survey for the convention. Anybody bought a ticket, and a lot of people want to see a narrative event on Friday. So it could even, could be something where if they don't play the doubles or if they finish up the doubles. But yeah, I think it'd be good to have like an in-person teaching and like you be able to actually just like watch people, because I know that like I've taken painting classes, and when you take a painting class and you're holding your brush like an idiot, or you're loading your brush wrong, or your paint consistency is wrong. Having that in person versus watching like a YouTube video makes a big difference. So I think that'd be something cool that we can do. Something cool for you next year.
Yep, I'm definitely down. Keep me posted.
Sweet. Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck this week. Go fucking represent for the USA and the Northwest too. And then and plug your stuff. You got Kiddo Crew Gaming.
Yeah, Kiddo Crew. I'm gonna sound like Connor. I'm Kiddo Crew, Kid Zero Crew, pretty much everywhere. YouTube, Kiddo Crew Gaming. I don't post super often. I usually post bat reps. Very little of my stuff is Patreon locked. My Patreon is also Kiddo Crew Gaming, and I'm sure I can get someone to put notes in the doobly doob for you to have a link.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Chuck, please.
And I don't. If anyone's ever interested in coaching, send me a message on Discord. I'm Kiddo Crew on Discord. I don't do actual charges for coaching normally. I very It's just a for tips thing. I don't want it to be my second job. I make okay money at my current job. I don't need this to be like a hustle or a side thing. And I really enjoy talking about Kill Team with all different types of nerds and all different types of skill sets. So like, I literally just do it for tips. And at the end of whatever session, I'll schedule a session. We'll take 2.5 hours, and either hash it out or play a practice game or whatever the case is. And at the end of it, if you feel you learned something, you can send me money, and I have options for that. But like, it's one of those things where if you ask, I will tell you that, but I won't ever bring it up to you like mid-session. I won't be like, oh, by the way, you could tip me, or oh, the way, and I'm not going to do that, because
I think you should do that. You should like halfway through be like, I see a move here, but it's going to cost you $3.
No, there's a lot of the times where I don't really. There's a level of player that I can coach, be like, hey, I think this is the more optimal move, or like, this is your decision that I'm sort of forcing on you. And I've done that with high level players where I'll be like, hey, this is the choice you have, because if you do this, I'm gonna do this, and if you do this, I'm gonna do this other thing. So you just have to decide which of the two evils you don't want to deal with, or like are less detrimental to whatever your game plan is. A lot of the times, I'm coaching on positioning and what you can do optimally. Like Kroot are an amazing one. The Kroot Hounds, the positioning with the dogs are pivotal. A dog on engage behind a wall or behind a heavy barricade properly can change the whole dynamic of a side of the board. And it is extremely powerful and useful in the right circumstance. And being able to recognize that and position those properly, like, I think proper positioning is a extremely underrated thing. And gauging that on mid game is very hard to do, and that's probably something I would focus on at like Killscream next year.
Cool. We will we'll definitely have links for your content in the show notes. I'm at Pain Cave Minis on Instagram. Tyler is lowbrow minis on Instagram, and diceroar.bigcartel.com if you're looking for shirts. You might still have a chance to get his new shirt. It might be closed by the time you hear this. And if it is, that's what you get for slacking. We've been talking about it for weeks. Connor's at Spanaway on everything.
Yeah, you somehow thought it wouldn't be that when you asked me what my EA name was, you silly Billy.
I know, I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
We were playing Battlefield. Actually, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I figured we'll bring it up in the post show, but I just want to make fun of you with it now.
No, you're good. Every once in a while you get to make fun of me. So, and then patreon.com/Vox Cascadia podcast. If you want some extra content from us, we usually do another 10 or 15 minutes after show, and it's not Kill Team related pretty much at all. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And sometimes we talk smack about people. So if you want to find out who we're talking smack about, give us a couple bucks. So thanks for joining. Congratulations on getting to Worlds, and go kick some fucking ass, Brandon.
I'm going to try.
Connor, can you do the Tyler sign off?
We love you. Good night.